kind of had lost myself a little bit over the years between uprooting my family and moving across the country, shifting my business to another state, having my children out of the house and gone to college with just one left. I also turned 40 last week, which at one point in my life I thought 40 was so old, and here I am.
I had 3 kids in 3.5 years. I think I kind of fell into motherhood, and having all of my kids just happened faster than I thought it would. And it wasn't that long ago that my life was 100% different.
To be a mother, an artist, and a fire performer, none of which I ever envisioned for myself earlier in life, feels like a pretty complete turnaround from what I had been doing prior, which was really just kind of drifting along.
In my mid-40s, my hair was turning rapidly white, and I had so many people saying, "You are too young for all that gray. Why don't you just dye your hair?" I had a pivotal point in the mirror one day where it was like, why am I trying to please all of these people? And at that point, I really started owning it.
About 2.5 years ago, I started a health journey. I lost 253 pounds. But along the way, I learned that it didn't really matter how much weight I lost because I still felt the same way about my body in the end. The weight was just a side effect. It wasn't the actual problem. Learning to understand my body dysmorphia and how it is all interconnected has been the hardest part of my health journey so far.
In 2018, I was diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. Going through treatment for that for 6 rounds of chemotherapy really did a number on me mentally, and it especially affected the way I felt about my appearance.
I just feel like I have grown so much from who I was 5 years ago. The biggest change was hanging on to a very abusive relationship and thinking that I was never going to be able to make it by myself. I very distinctly remember saying, "Not anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. My child deserves better. I deserve better."
Me and my husband had been trying to have a baby for a long time, and we finally got pregnant and then lost the baby pretty quick. I was in like the deepest, darkest depression. I didn't even know who I was anymore. It was not too much longer that I found out that I was pregnant again, and it was the most exciting and the scariest moment of my life. Right then and there, I stopped and I was like, if something happens, we can deal with it. But right now, we have to choose joy. I think that moment changed everything.
I've always struggled with perfectionism, and I think in college I shattered that for myself and realized how many imperfections I had. I'm now coming to terms with the fact that I am valuable and that I do matter and that I do have a purpose, and probably the biggest one is just learning to forgive myself.
I have struggled with drug and alcohol abuse for most of my adult life. I've tried to get sober many times over the last 5 years. I have never been able to get to 6 months of sobriety, and I was able to reach 6 months, which doesn't seem like a long time, but for me it was monumental.
When I was 25, I became pregnant with my first son, and at about 12 weeks pregnant, we learned that we had lost him. 3 months after we lost our first son, Carson, I became pregnant with our son that we did get to meet, Elliot. Going through that pregnancy, kind of learning how to cope with some major PTSD that I had from losing that first baby, as well as just learning to be a new mom. It really is a new definition of womanhood for me.
My mom passed away in June. She was my best friend, and I lost my brother too. Losing her after losing him hit me really hard.
I recently was pregnant with my baby girl. When I was about 7.5 months pregnant, my baby passed. It was a very horrific experience. I'm now going through all of the postpartum changes with no baby to show for it. I'm in this sort of limbo phase where I don't want to wear maternity clothes, and I don't fit into my pre-pregnancy clothes. It was sort of a challenge to get out of my own head and let Rebecca and Janine show me that I could be beautiful again in a way that I haven't seen myself for a very long time.
The idea of anyone taking my picture right now was absolutely terrifying. I kind of came to the realization that you probably should do this because you're so uncomfortable with it. I'm glad that it did. It wasn't as scary as I imagined it in my head to be.
Having my picture taken in a studio is something that I would normally show up really drunk to. So I was really scared, but that subsided quite a bit actually once I arrived. I felt safe.
It was relaxing and it was easy and it kind of felt effortless, and it was kind of a moment out of time from all of this emotional grief to just be kind of pampered.
The photo shoot kind of helped me see myself in a different way. You know, not just a mom, not just a wife, not even just a business owner, but as a woman.
My kids always look really nice when we go out, have cute little matching outfits and their hair's always done, and then I'm kind of like the hot mess. It was just really nice to feel pretty and wear a fun, flirty dress.
It was a really great opportunity to see myself in this mature setting that I hadn't gotten to document yet.
I think I've had those moments where I'm like, I want a serious photo, but I would never ask someone to take one of me because part of it is insecurity, but part of it is you want to be captured for how you see yourself.
This felt like an opportunity to really just come out full blast and say, this is who I am now, you know, and this is how I would choose to represent myself.
There's something about seeing a picture of yourself where you look beautiful and you feel beautiful and you know what it took to get you there.
To actually see the tangible evidence that I got in front of a camera and I was sober was like really empowering.
I liked them, and because I liked them, it was kind of a realization for me as to how much more work I still need to do. I even asked my girlfriend that evening, I said, do you think this even looks like me? She assured me and told me that this is what she sees. That's who I want to see every day.
My mom always liked my smile, but I kind of didn't. So to see myself smiling was the first time I liked my smile.
It was amazing to see myself in a light where I actually really felt good about myself for the first time in 7 or 8 months. And I didn't look sick and I didn't look sad, I just looked like me.
I was quite surprised at my own reaction to some of the pictures. I remember there were some that I felt a little silly in, but they ended up being my favorite images.
The one with the pink dress and the white tulle definitely represented the metamorphosis, because I said, I feel like a butterfly, and those were my wings.
I wanted to showcase the joy that I was feeling, but also the inner strength. So I think the images we chose show both sides of those. One image very strong, showing my belly and showing the growth, and then the other one showing the joy and the light.
I saw the young me, I saw the future me, I saw the transitional me that I am right now, and some of the ones that I picked out and that I'm gonna get to take home and share with other people, I just think capture a side of me that I've never been able to capture myself.
I think it was a little shocking at first to kind of see some of the more serious photos that we had taken and to see like, that's what I look like now as an adult and as a mom.
Yeah, maybe I am heavier or rounder or my shoe size has changed. I appreciate that for what it is and for what my body was able to do.
I have scars, physical and emotional, that I didn't have a few months ago. That's just part of my story. I do feel honored to have carried my baby for the 7 months that I had her. The pregnancy was not all bad. It was beautiful to have her for that time.
I love myself enough to be able to share with the world. I am good. I am worthy. And no matter what state I am in.
There's not a number or a size or an age that's gonna make you love yourself more. You just have to start.
It can be life-changing when you start saying yes to yourself and yes to new experiences and trying new things. And I think this photo shoot was one of the first things that I've done kind of on that new journey.
I was diagnosed cancer-free as of August 2018. It's not like after you're done with chemotherapy that it's just like, okay, everything's back to normal again. It's a long road. But the biggest thing that I've learned is loving yourself and loving the way you look is a choice.
I think the hard thing is to choose joy every single day, to wake up and decide today I'm gonna be joyful. My hope is that when my kids see my picture, they'll remember that Mama chose joy.
Life is so beautiful in the every single day, and so are we. And we are literally never the same version of ourselves. Minute by minute, we're 1 minute older, 1 minute wiser, 1 experience gained. I think it's so beautiful to just remember that each season only has so much time.
Being able to capture every stage of your life, whether you think it's glorious or not, is so important because it is a beautiful journey.
This is a message from my mom, and now I'm passing it on to you. And it says, "Dear super incredible you, love your life, engage in it, give it all you've got. Love it with a passion, because life truly does give back many times over what you put into it."